Welcome aboard ServiceNow Expeditions. We continue our journey into the sectors of data. So how data is connected in ServiceNow, how we can use it, how we can realize our use cases. Today, your guides Mike and Ivan. Ula, unfortunately, is on the special assignment again. So, Mike, what are we going to discuss today?
Yeah, hello. After finishing our last video about simple references and so on and related lists, and sleeping one night over it, more and more interesting topics came into my mind, and I thought, why not do another part of this topic and show the users here some special things, special tricks regarding this topic. So therefore, we have a kind of second part for the simple references and related lists today. Yeah, let's go to our instance and our expedition application. So today we don't need the studio. We will work only on the user side. So that means let's open and yeah, exactly. So we talked about simple references. So one record points to another record. In this list here, you can see such columns because requester exactly and the expedition leaders are linked. They are referenced. So we have references to other records, and these records are located in the sysuser table, and also the sysuser table has outbound references to other records, for example, department or whatever.
Companies or locations and that kind of things.
Exactly. So what if we want to find out whether, for example, a certain user is in a certain company, or whether the users have any email addresses stored or not. And here we have to dot walk via our condition builder. And with the standard configuration in ServiceNow, you might not see an option to dot walk to another table. Therefore, you have to scroll down to the end of the list, and there you will find this special option, show related fields.
Yeah, when I was just starting with ServiceNow, I was pretty, I wouldn't say amazed, but surprised at how it works, right? You don't see any option to drill down at the moment, but then you just kind of select one of the options in this list, right? It disappears, right? And then when you open it again, then you see them.
Exactly. And here we have, again, our arrow notation. Whenever you see such a notation pointing to another record, you can select this, and then the tree is expanding and you have way more fields than before. And you have to be careful. For example, now you see only the user fields. For example, the email. Yeah, let's select the email, for example, or anything else, and check whether a user has an email address or not.
Yeah, so I'll set it is not empty and run the query. All right, so now we are filtering our records where expedition leader has an email.
Exactly. So let's stay on this view. We have searched for this scenario, but we cannot see the email address. So what if we want to see the email address right beside of your name? So there we have two options in ServiceNow. One is called configuration and one is called personalization. And for the second case, personalization, you probably would open the cogwheel to add your columns to the list view. Unfortunately, in the standard list view, a normal user has no options to add a dot walk field to the list. Fortunately, we have a super cool tool here in our browser. It's called Utils. We mentioned this several times before, and we need to activate here a hidden option. So therefore, yeah, you can double click, I think, on the canvas. Yes, via a double click, you get now many additional options here. Not only an option to add a SysID, which is often a super cool thing if you are working a lot with SysIDs. The other way is to add here the dot walked field. And here you need to use the technical notation.
Yeah.
So you need to know that expedition leader is a reference to this user table, right? And then you need to add the technical name.
Yeah. So the expedition leader is the name of the reference field in our expeditions table. And we know that in the sysuser table, the field representing email address is called email. So we just select expedition leader and then we add email. Well, When I press enter, the field appears, and now I can rearrange it the same way as the all other fields, right? I will move it a little bit up next to the leader, press OK, and here we go.
Yeah, super cool thing. And even I can see the question in your face, something like, hey, Mike, why is ServiceNow not allowing you to add this out of the box
Yeah,
without
exactly.
Utils? To be honest, I have no idea. The only idea I have so far is that adding these .walk field causes in the background a so-called join. ServiceNow has to extend the database query and to include another table. And this causes a lot of performance issues if the tables are really large. So therefore, ServiceNow might not want each and every user to add these .walk fields. If you need this and you are not an admin, you need to install the Utils extension. However, as an admin, you also have the option to do this for all the users. And here you need to configure the table layout.
Yeah, with the right click on the column header, you can open list layout, and in the configuration screen, you will see, first of all, the reference records are marked green, and they have this plus in square brackets, which you can actually expand by clicking on this button, expand selected reference field. And then you can also drill down to email, let's say, edit and rearrange the same way as we did it before.
Yeah, exactly. There is another special situation you might come across. At the moment, we know that the .walk field is in this user table. So therefore, we got the option to select the email address right away. But there are other situations where we don't know which table a field is pointing to. Special candidate for this scenario is the outages table, right?
CMDB CI outage.
And here we need to add the column task, please. Task number, I think, yeah, task number. Yes, thank you. So we have two columns here, task number and configuration items. These two columns are special because they are pointing not to a child table, they are pointing to the parent table. And you know, the tasks in the CMDB CI table represent a large tree.
Yeah.
They have many child tables. An incident is only one famous candidate. The configuration item table is huge with hundreds of children. So now you have a problem. If you want to do a .walk, you cannot do it traditional way because you need to know in which table you are referencing. And you already see this here in the task number. There is a change record reference and an incident record. And with the traditional approach, you only can reference the task table fields, but not the incident fields. And to reference an incident field, we need first select again the task number and the arrow notation, which is pointing to the task field. Then open this again. And now you need to scroll down to the end of the list. And here you will find new items, which are also have a special notation with a plus at the end. And here you need to select, for example, the incident, because if you want to .walk to incident records, here you need first to select the incident table, and then you can select the incident related fields, like incident state, for example. If you select this, now you can select any incident state, and in the condition builder, you also can see now a new special notation. The incident table is written in brackets. This is an indicator for we are only selecting records which are located in the incident table. All the other tables are excluded here now in the condition. This can be really helpful because this situation of a reference pointing to a parent table is not that rare. There are many tables which are out of the box which are pointing to a parent field. Let's see how ServiceNow is building this encoded query behind the scenes with the help of the Utils plugin.
So to see the condition, I will double click on the breadcrumbs, and then we will see how it looks like.
The new notation here you can see is task number dot ref underscore incident dot. This is a kind of prefix which tells ServiceNow go to the incident table and then check the fields which are then added after this special notation. In that case, it is incident underscore state. And you also can take this encoded query and put this into a glide record script. It will work the same. Okay, this was nearly everything I know so far regarding the outbound references and the so-called dot walking topic. There's the other topic of incoming references, the so-called related list. In the last episode, we already showcased how to visualize the related list in the normal list view. Maybe we can show this again as a kind of recap. So we open the expeditions.
Yeah, here we are.
And with the list control configuration, you have to check this hierarchical list checkbox. You are able to display also related lists, but you always have to select the list you want to see. ServiceNow is able only to display one related list below a record. And now the question is, can we also search for this scenario? So let's say we want to find out all the expeditions which have still open expedition tasks, just for a quality check, just for somebody who wants to see if any tasks have been not processed to the end.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with the normal condition builder, this is not possible. This is the bad news. The good news is there is a way to do this. With the Zurich instance here, the problem is we cannot reach the old school report builder any longer, but it's still available. If you go to the sys_report table, you should still be able to open the old report records. You even can create another one. And we already prepared a report. It's just a report on the expedition table of type list view.
Just for the users, right? So we are using the legacy report for the presentational purposes. The things that we are doing should also be possible with the data visualizations in the future.
Yeah. And let's open the report with the help of the UI action view report here, right? And the report builder has this cool option of related list condition. You might not have seen this, but it's really helpful because here we can select one of the related lists which are available for our expedition record. You see here the expedition ratings and the expedition tasks. We talked about these related lists in previous episodes. And you can select one and then also add another condition. For example, state is open. And now the search scenario is list all expeditions which have related expedition tasks that are in the open state.
Yeah, and as we can see, we have 2 expeditions with associated tasks which are still opened.
And this is crazy. This opens complete new options and possibilities in ServiceNow to search records and to find records in ServiceNow. Also for quality checks, this is really helpful. And you don't need to go to this legacy report. You can also enable these capabilities of having related list conditions in any condition field in your instance. For example, in the business rule record, there's a condition field.
Where you can define a trigger, right?
Yeah. Here is a simple condition builder, meaning you can only select records on the expedition table itself. You are not able to build a condition on the, for example, expedition task table as we did this before with the report builder.
Yeah.
Fortunately, there are dictionary attributes which can enable these capabilities also here in a standard filter condition field. I wrote an article about this. We will link this later in the description, and we can open this article, bring back related list conditions here, right? I described this in this article in the middle. The attributes of interest are, and then condition builder equals version 2, and then allow related list query, basically only the last one, but with the first attribute condition builder equals version 2, you get a new
modern
condition builder,
yeah.
a modern condition builder, which really looks nice. And I like this condition builder. And I see more and more out of the box forms where ServiceNow also enable this modern condition builder.
But with this, do you mean that when we set up a business rule like this, then the business rule will be monitoring its triggering condition based on the related list table. Is that true?
Yes, for example, you could extend your business rule condition with any condition on the related list table. Something like this business rule is only fired if a related expedition task is still open. Something like this.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how long we are working with ServiceNow, there are still times where we we are still amazed. I mean, that's great, right?
Maybe we can showcase this to our audience and just enable this related list condition.
All right, so we can do this by right-clicking, selecting Configure Dictionary. I have already done this, and this will open the dictionary entry field, and here we need to add the attributes described in Mike's article. So don't forget to use comma to separate the different attributes.
Yeah, this is one of the things I always have to look up, because I always want to use semicolons because it makes more sense to me. I don't know why ServiceNow has decided for commas.
I presume semicolons are for the cases where you need to separate values, right, of an attribute. That's the way. All right, so now let's refresh. And here we are, the beauty of the modern condition builder.
Exactly. And at the bottom of the condition field, you see the related list conditions, and you can click on this, and then you see the same concept like before in the report builder. You select related list of interest, and then you also have to select a link, which might be overseen. It's right above the selection fields. Yes, exactly. If you click on this, you can decide for a scenario. Greater than equal 1 means at least one record needs to match the condition you select below.
Yeah.
You can also choose other conditions here, or scenarios.
Additional flexibility is added with this new modern condition builder. For our users, please tell us how many of you would do this change in your business rule table.
Yeah. So for demonstration purposes, let's select a scenario, something we had before, related tasks, and then state is open, right? And then let's save this. And I think with a double click of the filter, here, if it's read only, then the condition is printed in plain text format. That's cool. So we can take this condition here.
Exactly. This is the thing that I presume we can showcase how we can use in the list view or with the normal filter, right? Will this be possible?
Yeah, this is possible. It's like hacking ServiceNow, because it's not available in the list view, but we can take the encoded query and inject this here with the help of our lovely Utils extension. Okay,
let us do this and try this with the records that are still active. So I'm pretty sure that there is at least one which has open tasks. So we double click on the breadcrumbs for us to see the condition, and now we can try and add this condition.
Is there a preceding? Yes, it is.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. And we have a winner. If we open it, we see there is just one task which is still open. I'm pretty sure of that. Yeah, it's open and it works in the filters. Wow, that's...
Yeah, and what you also can see, ServiceNow is not able to understand any longer this encoded query, and therefore disabled the filter icon.
Yeah, you cannot do this anymore this way, only with the help of ServiceNow Utils.
Exactly.
Well, guys, that was it for today's session. We hope that you found a lot of useful information, tips and tricks that you can practice in your environments. Just be careful not to customize where you can configure. With all that being said, we will still be continuing our journey into the data topic in ServiceNow, and we'll be glad to see you in our next sessions. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.